be viewed live by the public on Optimum Cable Channel 4. A rebroadcast may be viewed on Optimum Cable Channel 4 in the City of Alexandria, Louisiana website. The invocation be done by Michael Caffrey and the pledge by Jim Valord.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another opportunity to assemble in this place to conduct the work of this city. We ask that you be God in the midst of our time here together. We ask that you bless all of those who have come to hear and to experience what it is that we do here. We ask that you bless all those that we are called to serve in this time. In Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we'll have roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Ms. Felker?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Present.
Mr. Fowler? Mr. Villard?
Here.
Mr. Larvadain?
Here.
Ms. Perry?
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Approval of the minutes taken from the regular meeting held on March 25th. I need a motion.
Move.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Johnson. Any public comments? Should be if there are any discrepancies in the written minutes only. Discussion? Mr. White,
Thank you, Madam President.
you're welcome.
My name is Mr. Cornelius Lawson White Jr. I live at 3638 10th Street in Alexandria, Louisiana. My phone number is area code 318-446-6934. I want to thank Mr. Goins last week for mentioning me and everything. That was awful nice. Don't get too many nice things. I've been asking the council to vote on whether we can have freedom of speech after they've completed all their measures. So I'm asking you, Madam President, to have a vote up or down, where after y'all completed whatever y'all need to complete, to have a vote to where we can speak freely about anything, any issue, anything like that. At 11 o'clock Thursday, there's going to be an ambulance meeting at the police jury. I hope all of y'all will come out for that so we can support whatever ambulance service that we're going to have in Rapides Parish or Alexandria. 11 o'clock Thursday.
Thank you for the announcement, Mr. White.
Yes, ma'am. So can I get a vote on whether we can
Sir,
speak?
this is approval of minutes.
I understand.
This is
I
not
understand.
voting time.
I understand, but I'm just asking.
Thank you, Mr.
Sometime
White.
Can we get a vote on that?
Thank you, Mr.
That's
White.
all.
Thank you.
Consent calendar. Number one, introduction of an ordinance.
We vote on it?
No.
You didn't vote on the?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Sorry about that.
Moving a little fast, Ms. Donna.
Donna.
Yeah. Consent calendar.
Donna made a mistake. Let me mark that down.
Number one, introduction of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for operating chemicals for wastewater department. Number two, introduction of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for electric meters and accessories. Number three, introduction of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for chlorination and dechlorination equipment. Number four, introduction of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for Jackson and MacArthur Enhancement Project. Number five, introduction of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a corporate endeavor agreement with Central Louisiana Juneteenth Association Incorporated for Juneteenth celebration.
Need a motion, please?
Move.
A second? Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Fowler. Any items to committee? To resolutions.
Okay, resolutions. Number six, resolution authorizing advertisement for bid for clamps and couplings.
Motion,
Go ahead.
motion, please.
Move.
Second,
Second.
public comments. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 7, resolution authorizing advertisement for bids for fire hydrant and accessories.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second,
Second.
motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Lawberdane. Public comments. Discussion.
Madam President, and to the mayor, simple question. Who determines and how are we determining fire hydrants placed on streets? I've gotten several calls from residents in District 3 on Vermont Street, sir, and just wanted to kind of see where we stand with that. I didn't get a chance to call to ask you that, but
I don't understand
fire
the question.
hydrants on Vermont Street, since we're doing fire hydrants.
Yeah, so they're placed in conjunction with the fire chief. As you know, we've achieved the fire rating 1, the highest rating. Fire hydrants are placed in accord with certain distances, and there's a whole bunch that goes into it, a whole bunch of factors. That's not something that the mayor just says, put a hydrant somewhere. It's placed strategically so that it's used in the best place. A citizen may say, I'd like a fire hydrant in front of my house just because it's closer. That's not how it works. There's pressure in the hydrants. There's distances that they need to be maintained. I'm not aware of the request, but I think one of them was addressed.
We've already addressed the issue on Vermont Street multiple times with that particular resident that keeps making that request.
Yeah, it's prescribed by policy, not by a request.
No, okay, it wasn't a request, they were just wondering how were they done? But since Mr. Caffrey has initiated it with one of the people on the street, that's well.
And we can brief about it after the meeting. I can tell you.
Thank you.
I also have some questions about hydrants placed in the neighborhood behind the post office off Odom, the post office by State Police. Could you guys give me a brief on the placement of those hydrants? Because I remember some time ago, there was some fires and had to run a bunch of hose to get fire to a house. So we'll talk about it.
If you just send an email with your specifics.
We'll talk about it. Thank you.
You done? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 8, resolution authorizing advertisement for bid for fire station number 4 roof leak repairs.
A motion, please.
Move.
Second,
Second.
motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Ballard. Public comments. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 9, resolution authorizing advertisement for annual uniform bid for the police department.
Move. Oh, excuse me.
Motion by
Move.
Councilman Lloyd, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments. Mr. Mr. White,
Yes, ma'am, Madam President, thank you.
you're welcome.
I hope that we'll buy local and everything. Kaplan's has been a long-time supplier of the police and fire department and other departments. When I was a military police officer at Camp Beauregard, I got all my police stuff over there at Kaplan, so I hope we'll shop local and keep it as local as we can. I know there are bids on all this stuff, but we need to try to, support our local businesses on buying supplies and all like that. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. White, and I agree with you on that. Thank you. Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 10, resolution to co-sponsor Sinla Pride 2025 on June 13th and June 14th, 2025.
Motion, please.
Move.
A second.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Lawberdane. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
H, public hearing, budget. Number 11, to hold a public hearing on the mayor's proposed 2025-2026 operating and capital budget.
I need a motion to open the public hearing. I need a second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilwoman Felter. You have public comments. Mr. Freddie Price.
Good afternoon, President Perry,
Good afternoon.
council members, and Mayor Roy. I am Major Freddie Price, Sr., United States Army retired, and I stand before you as the President and CEO of Dempsey Business Systems of Louisiana. I was born and raised in Samtown and educated in the Rapides Parish School System. I'm a certified Black-owned, service-disabled veteran small business that has proudly served the city of Alexandria for nearly 2 decades. In 2013, my company led the city transition from its old legacy Lotus 123 platform to the Microsoft platform, a critical technology upgrade that modernized city operations. Over the years, we have supplied IT equipment, office supplies, and professional services with consistency, efficiency, and integrity. I want to first to commend this council and especially the Finance Committee for what has been described by the Finance Committee Chairman as the last day of budget session. I think this is one of the better reviews that we have had. The department, by analysis, was done very thoroughly, and the leadership that you have shown in fiscal planning is commendable. That said, I respectfully ask that we not confuse completion with closure. Despite my company's long-standing record with the city, the only procurement awarded to us in FY 24-25 fiscal year was $1,264 for just 4 desktop scanners. Meanwhile, over $2.4 million was allocated for machinery and equipment, and $350,000 was allocated for supplies, categories in which are both I am qualified and competitively priced. On April the 4th, I received documentation for the city attorney's office showing that the city spent $317,991.54 on machinery equipment this year and $3,701.69 on office supplies. My share of that was $1,264. Had the Diversity in Action Plan established under Executive Order JMR 2009-1 and JMR 2016-1 been implemented as intended, I would have been offered the opportunity to compete for business valued at approximately $93,746. These executive orders are not aspirational. They are policy, and they are law. Reviewing the FY 25-26 proposed budget, it has around $4 million in projected spending for machinery and equipment and office supplies. I'm not asking for guaranteed contracts, but I am expecting under the city policy. Well, let me say this. Therefore, respectively, I urge this council to establish, enforce procurement benchmarks for certified businesses, initiate and complete an audit, fully fund and embedded the diversity in action in ordinance measurable enforcement, required administration to quarterly report the progress, provide funding of the Workforce Development and Small Business Retention Office.
Mr. Freddie,
Yes, ma'am?
you have 3 minutes.
Okay, can I just one more minute, and I'll finish it
No,
up.
sir, you
Well,
can't, and I'm not being rude to you. Everybody has 3 minutes, and I'm trying to establish that. So every time Mr. White comes, he can say, well, Ms. Perry, you allowed such and such to go over.
Madam
This,
Madam
sir.
President, I just, I'm
I
down, I'm
understand, no,
here
I
to you.
understand. No, Mr. Freddie, it's not no disrespect to you.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to establish here is consistency. It's 3 minutes for everyone.
Mr. Johnson didn't have 3 minutes, he had more. The lady that had talked about the recycling had more. I was right here.
And that's what I tried to explain to everybody. That's what I tried to explain to everybody. This is what we're going to get each time, and this is what I'm trying to avoid.
I appreciate it, Madam President. I state my, and I'll put my statement in the records. Can I do that?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
I'd like to, just 30 seconds, and I think it'll be beneficial to you and Freddie.
That's fine.
First of all, I appreciate what Mr. Price is saying. He's an honorable man, and he has done a lot of work over the years with my administration before. The years he cited would be evident of that. The two executive orders he cited are mine, written by me, and they meant a lot to me then, and I want you to know, Mr. Price, what you're asking them to do, they've already done. The ordinance, so they were executive orders. Executive orders can exist if they're otherwise lawful until the council acts for or against them. The council acted for. The AFEET program, everything you're asking to embed, I read your letter 3 times very carefully that you presented last week. All of that is in place, and I want all of you to know, and Mr. Goins can attest to this week at staff, I actually ordered, and I'm sure not every employee is happy, I ordered all P cards to come back except for a few division heads, and then we're going to look at those. So that there is no more P card purchase where someone can just go, they're done. I picked them all up. All of them. So that's going to force purchasing to do the 3 count, and I overrode all policy that said if it's under a certain amount of money, they don't have to go through purchasing. The threshold now, Freddie, is 0. No, if you go to 1 cent, I guess it can't be 0, you're not purchasing. 1 cent or above, you have to do the 3 tests. You have to reach out. And I've ordered that all of what was put in AFEET, this was all Tuesday, all of what's in AFEET now, Monday, yesterday, all of what's in AFEET in that law has to be followed, or there'll be, as the law already has, there'll be discipline associated with it. So give that a chance to work. I think you'll find a huge difference in just picking up P cards. And I know this will be hard for people to believe. This was not my policy when I was mayor before. Sorry, Cornelius. That was changed. And I've asked David and them, how did this happen, that people, so many P cards allowed those small purchases at places, not put in under Jacques Roy. But what I did do is I stopped it. I did not know that the P card policy got around it. Should have. It's kind of common sense to me now. I think about it. Just didn't think about it. So I was looking at P cards anyway, and when I saw that, spontaneously in the meeting, removed it all. Done yesterday. So give that a chance to work. That should put our last piece in. It would also allow us the metric to trace it in a count, as you've asked for, way better. Because if people have P cards, it was just simple. If half the amount of business being done is on a P card, you can go do it, and you can go wherever you want because you're in a small amount. But that small amount could be something you would bid on if someone had to ask you first, right? All right, so that was done. I told him last week when I read the letter I would take it seriously, and I did. And we'll go from there, and we'll keep working with you. I commend you, Mr. Price. It takes a lot of courage to stand up and fight for things. It's a tough world in DEI right now, as you know, and some people have the wrong idea about it. You need to have access to be able to compete. I'm going to make sure you do so.
Is that good enough for you, Mr. Freddie?
It probably isn't today, but it's a start. He done,
You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with the mayor's bill, but as I say, action speaks.
Yeah, well,
We understand, but it's a start.
I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to speak, and I think I'm on the agenda to speak on the budget when that time occurs.
Thank you.
Well, the budget does not give it to any certain person. That still has to go through the bidding process.
yeah, and I wasn't going to go,
Yes,
since
that's
it's
what we're
raised, I'm
saying,
worried
Jim.
he's going to go there with you. It's not germane to this. You
No.
can't put what he's saying in a budget ordinance. One exception happened last year. You remember Mr. Gist wanted to add that section. I said, y'all shouldn't, don't muddle your budget. You listen to Trey, and what happened? We had to come back and fix it on a simple little gator or something for the fire department to receive a donation, a little four-wheeler. So you can't put it in there because it's not germane, but you already have it in law. I'll show you the ordinance. Everything he's asking for is already the law. It's got to be followed.
And who's in charge of making sure it's followed?
I am. I am constitutionally and by charter the executive who must enforce the laws of this council.
And you're
I
telling
wrote
me-
an executive order that you adopted, and I'm going to make sure it's followed. And I think these two guys and Jonathan understand the seriousness of the meeting yesterday
All right.
about whether I was happy about pulling those cards.
We done? Mr. White,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam President.
you're welcome.
If I remember correctly, Mayor, I think Mayor Hall had put together something where they would have more minority involvement in the city and everything. He put a study together to put that, so I don't know if any of the city councilmen saw that study or you saw that study to try to help more minorities get contracts with the city. I'm a veteran too, and I'm glad to hear this veteran speak about getting more minority involvement and veteran involvement with the city. And I hope and pray that it'll happen. Madam President, if you would, instead of me speaking about, because it seems like, can I give him my time? Because I'm just. No, I want to give you my time because you know what you're saying. I don't know all the stuff that he's saying. That's the only reason I wanted
No,
to give him time.
Mr. White,
Well,
you
then I'll
can.
just take the time of myself, but that ought to be
You
somewhere.
have to talk about the
Okay,
budget,
I
Mr.
understand what
White.
you're saying. Well, we ought to, if we can, if somebody has some more knowledge, and he has more knowledge than I do because he's working directly with the city and y'all, it would be nice if somebody would say, hey, I'll give up my 3 minutes
I
to let
understand
the
what you're
man
saying,
talk.
Mr. White, but if you're not going to talk about the budget, then.
Well, like I said, I would like to see to where we got streets over there that's messed up. We need sidewalks. These kids are walking in mud and
But
stuff. The old people.
that's not pertaining to the budget,
Okay,
Mr.
all
White.
right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. White. Anyone else? Okay. Discussion?
Yes.
No.
No, you
excuse me.
can't speak.
The public hearing that we're having now is
It's
only
only
strictly
for
for the public.
Public.
Your opportunity.
I move
to
we
comment
close.
is for
I move we
public.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Myself in the hand.
Public hearing is open only for the public and not the
almost said
council. Okay. I need a motion to close public hearing. I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilman Johnson. Public comments, discussion, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Public hearing is now closed.
Aye, ordinances for final adoption, subject to public hearing. Number 12, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for janitorial supplies.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second, please.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Ballard. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 13, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for construction and maintenance materials.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second, please. Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 14, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a memorandum agreement with the Department of the Army Joint Readiness Training Center, Fort Johnson, for military exercises.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second, please.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Lawberdane. Public comments? Mr. White,
Thank you, Madam President.
you're welcome.
Being a veteran, I was also a military police officer that assisted, then it was Fort Polk, and I worked at Camp Beauregard for 15 years from 1979 to 1994. This April the 19th, 2005, will be the Army's 250th birthday. It would be nice, I know it's too late to have an honor for that, but it would be nice if it would be honored. And of course, the Marine Corps birthday will be November the 10th. They'll be 250 years old, and then the Constitution next year will be 250 years
Mr.
old.
White,
I know, I'm good, I just wanted to say that, just to say that. But what I wanted to tell you about Fort Johnson, we need to train our troops to get ready for war. We may be at war at any time now. And my time in Tigerland, as they used to call it, was very well spent. I can remember when Reagan was the president, they got our MP units ready to go to war with Iran because they had those
Mr.
hostages that
Mr.
they
White.
didn't release them. But what I'm trying to tell you is readiness. And I'm glad that the city is supporting Fort Johnson. And Fort Johnson, if you don't know, the black fella, they called him the Black Death during World War I. He killed more Germans than you could ever imagine. So thank you, Madam President, for at least letting me say my piece.
thank you for that black history. Discussion?
Yes, I wanted
You-
to ask the mayor, okay, this something that first time doing?
No, sir.
Okay.
We've done this a little while.
Okay.
This one may be a little beefier than some of the past ones, with a little more deliverables both ways, but we've done some things for years that I had started before. We started a deal where we would, to use Freddie's word, a great word, embed. We've had some folks there embedding with our security and utilities staffs for a while that do some stuff that you're familiar with out of that area on technology and security. And they have ended up, one of them is still with us. He's been with us for years, even through Jeff's administration too. And so they would sponsor those guys. They'd come and add a lot of support to protect us, and we're still doing that. So we get some deliverables back for them in exchange for what we're doing. It's a pretty good deal our way, actually.
Okay.
And I think we'll start sharing more. We'll start getting more tech advanced items from them, from their help, which is a good thing for us.
Thank you.
All in
You're welcome,
favor?
Mr. Johnson.
All in- Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 15, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew the existing contract for professional auctioneering services.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second, please.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Valord, second by Councilwoman Felter. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 16, to consider final adoption of an ordinance adopting the operating budget for the city of Alexandria for fiscal year 2025-2026, to make appropriations for the ordinary expenses for all city divisions, department, office, and agency pensions, and otherwise providing with respect to the expenditures of appropriations, adopting the capital budget for the city of Alexandria for fiscal year 2025-2026, appropriating funds for the capital budget for the city of Alexandria for fiscal year 2025-2026, and providing for capital expenditures and other matters with respect to appropriations and the expenditure of funds pertaining thereto.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second, please. Motion by Councilman Valord, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments? Mr. Price?
Madam President, I stand to rise to talk about this budget, and I appreciate the mayor's comments about what he's doing and what he's planning on doing. But therefore, the council, I'm addressing the council, and I urge you under your authority, because I know that you have the authority to do some of the things that I'm asking, if not all of them. And that's because it's implementation. Implementation is what is lacking. 2009, when the executive order was written, I was in business. So that's from 2009 until now. So I've seen what the good old boy network is still alive and functioning well. So I'm asking the council to do these things, to initiate and fund and embed the diversity in action plan into this ordinance, and require the administration to quarterly report progress. It had happened in the past. I know the councils have done it before. The administration has provided reports to the council on a periodic basis. They have a retention officer, a position called Workforce Development Small Retention Officer in the Diversity in Action Plan. That's funding that has to be funded. And I'm asking the council to consider funding that. In light of these things that I brought to the council, I'm not trying to disrupt anything or the compliance, but I'm asking you, as you finalize this budget today, without addressing this inclusion, the things that I've talked about, it would affirm and contradicts the stated commitment of equity. Delaying approval, even briefly delaying it, will only give you an opportunity to think about some of the things that I'm asking you and bring it forth to you as the council, which is in your authority. Roy has showed vision by signing these executive orders. Now I urge you to reinforce that vision with decisive and lawful action. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not asking to do what the mayor says is already the law. You hold the power of the purse. Now it's time to use it. That's what I'm addressing this council for, because it is implementation. The budget plan, the executive orders are a great plan. It is an excellent plan, but we need to see action. And again, I've been here since 2009. This is 2025. And I see the good old boy network alive and well. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome, Mr. Price.
Freddie Dempsey did the work under my administration before. I mean, Dempsey, his systems, Mr. Price's company, did the work. He said that. The executive order is not about vision. You adopted the executive orders in the law. That's already been done. What has led to the problems we're having? I had all that reporting through Mr. Page. All that was in place. I know this is hard to hear, and I know it is for Mr. White, but I didn't undo all of that work I did. Another administration did. 100% of it, and you know that. That's when it occurred. That's when you stopped working. But I'm putting it all back together, and it's a lot to put back together, because the systems where the reporting was and all changed. Learning even a credit card thing like that, I acted immediately. I didn't need prompting. I didn't need help. I mean, these two guys saw, I was pretty raw feeling about that. I don't know what it'll result for a single person, what they do, but we have been asked things. Mr. Price has asked, for example, for all items under $5,000 to be, I know you dropped that, but we get requests like that we can't do. We can't say all items under a certain price go to one person. It's not bids, the things that he's doing, because it's under those thresholds, but it's still under the bid side, not the professional service side. We're making the corrections. It takes time to put those in place. I am not happy with the amount of time it has taken, but we're doing the things that he's asking about. You cannot hold a budget hostage for that. The budget is what funds these things. The positions that do that are already there. He's just mistaken on what he's requesting in terms of whether it's there and whether you need additional action. You don't. Malcolm got it right. Mr. Larverdane got it right. It needs to be enforced.
All right, so to make sure we're framing this issue for those who are in here and watching, and we're talking, and it looks like we're like halfway through the discussion. I think there's a front part that some people didn't get. So to frame this issue properly, Mr. Price is upset because feels he's been excluded from the bidding process. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're stating?
I think he's stated why he's upset.
And the administration was able to circumvent that by using purchasing cards.
No, we have not used the word circumvent or anything. The
Okay, but
previous-
just to avoid
No.
enforcing it. No, I just want to make sure, just make sure we're framing it. I'm not trying to
Well,
be argumentative, I just want to make sure.
You're adding some lawyer words in there that
Okay.
the administration didn't circumvent anything.
Okay, so the policy just wasn't being followed.
No, it's worse than that. We're following the policy again in my administration. The previous administration adopted, as in utilities and other things, a new policy, which I've confirmed from David, who served under both, that they adopted a P-card policy that is wholly inconsistent with my reporting policy when I was last mayor. I have now, upon discovering that, yet another thing, undone it.
And that
And I
P-card
undid
policy,
it the day I learned it.
and that P-card policy resulted arguably in Mr. Price being excluded from,
No, that's what I was just whispering, Mr. Goins. We don't know if it will or not, but we know this.
but you changing it's leveling the playing field.
By changing it, it's going to level in a lot of ways, but let me be real specific.
Okay?
What Mr. Price sells, I don't know yet if those are the things people are going out and purchase, but I can make it clear to everybody. If people in all the divisions are allowed to use their P card and they're going to get a pipe or something at a Home Depot or something because it's under the level, I don't know if that's all. Freddie stuff tends to be more ITIS, but it may be stuff like that. But if they're buying pencils, pens, all that kind of stuff, that he can do all of that, and they're just using a P card because it's a small amount, that violates my policy that I've always had and didn't know because of the P card change that you could circumvent or do it.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
do something to circumvent it. What I want to make sure is this administration isn't circumventing anything.
But this administration has identified the issue
And
and
fixed it.
moving forward. So you pulled the P cards yesterday, you said? Or day before yesterday?
Monday.
Monday?
So no one has a P card?
Not many people do.
So is it a limit on a P card?
Well, there's all kind of policies for P cards. I just have not thought it's right to,
Okay, so,
I'm done with the P cards.
Okay,
People
so-
don't need P cards. All it does is
Purchase
allow,
card.
it allows a
Credit cards.
purchase card, a credit card.
Credit
It
card.
allows a city employee.
Credit card.
It allows a city employee who should not have that discretionary authority to go out and make a choice that if they were going through purchasing, they couldn't make. In theory, depending on what he sells, absolutely that could affect it.
but
But
even,
I'm in it for all of it.
but even if, okay, let's just say that the city didn't have a P card. So, Mr. Freddie, you haven't been having business since you said 2009, correct?
No, ma'am, I didn't say that. No,
He did
ma'am,
like
I did not say that.
$1,240.
Yeah.
1264.
That was in this fiscal year.
So this doesn't have anything, you're just not saying this is with this administration, this is with previous administrations.
I've been selling products and services to the city since 2006, really 2004.
I just want to say, but you've
Yeah.
been, this is with previous
Previous
administrations.
administration up
Okay.
until this administration. But let me correct something.
Okay,
if I
that's
could.
what I need to know.
Because as the mayor says, and what I'm asking the council to do is just what the mayor says. Executive order is law. He says it is law. It's
Not what I'm
codified.
saying.
It's a part of that. And
saying
if
the
the law is passed and followed, and you as the council hold the administration to what they're supposed to be doing, I as a businessman would be happy with that. Because if that's the case, then that's telling me that what's written in the executive order is such that it gives businesses like mine a fair shot and equity of doing business.
Well, how
It has
you gonna
those
do
kind
what
of
the law
things in there.
says?
I did not ask for a particular contract. I did not talk about things under $5,000 that come to me, because I'm just one businessman trying to do business in
want a
the
shot.
city. But
just want a
I
shot.
want to be able to,
All right,
see,
we get it.
one thing, there are products, Epson America products, that I know this city has purchased for sale. I got pictures of it. I sell that off the state contract. The city didn't come to me to buy all of those Epsons that I walked to Greg Gable's office. They didn't come to me to buy a bunch of switches that they bought. I am.
Did you bid for them, Mr.
I
Fred?
didn't know. I didn't know, ma'am. I did not bid for them.
It could have been it.
Because one of the things that, as I addressed to the council before.
We're mixing
Yeah.
5 different categories of how things are done.
All I asked the mayor to do is, Mr. Mayor, is he has codified it in law. You all have passed it. It's a part of the law.
He has everything
2009.
reversed,
Two-
how it works.
No, I'm not having anything reversed, Mr. Mayor. I'm pretty clear. Because
I don't codify.
Well, I use the word codify. I take that back.
I don't codify,
I
they
take that-
codify.
but I take that back. What I do know is administration authored the executive orders. And this council,
I authored them, personally.
yeah, he authored the executive order, which is, actually, don't get me wrong, they are great executive order. It's an excellent document. It's follow through and implementation is the issue.
You codified my executive orders, which supersedes them. They're still there to be policy for my folks of implementation, but you've already codified, even the implementation order is in your ordinance. So what he's asking you to do is go in reverse. You
No,
already
I'm
have
not-
it.
I'm not- no, I'm not-
Mr. Price,
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
my job as the chief executive branch, is to execute. Once you've done it, if I find that the law you passed is not being properly executed, properly implemented, and the charter has a clause, just like this Constitution does, then I have to faithfully execute, the faithful execution clause in our charter. And I do that by finding mistakes and making sure that.
Let me say something.
Yes, sir.
So, Major Price, first of all, I didn't know you were a major, and you and I have been working together for 20 years.
That's right.
Out of Fort Polk. But not as Fort Johnson, you came to me because I was the one in budget trying to help as best I can. Let's do this right here. You and I have a meeting tomorrow, because I want to see a setup. What the mayor said, that he's correcting this week, let's see if this going to work. Agree?
I welcome you to come see me
No,
tomorrow,
I
because
want you-
after tomorrow, the way this is going is going to be ratified today or approved on, the ordinance. That's going to become law. The budget will become law.
Yeah.
But
But-
this would never be in the budget, Mr. Price, what you're saying. It's already in the law.
Can be in the budget.
It cannot
I think
be in the budget. It is
What
not
can-
a proper object of a budget.
Required administration to report quarterly can't be in the budget?
That's already the law.
Well,
We already-
then I'm asking the council then, come right back there and make it simple. Simple. Hold the administration to the law. Implementation of the law. And I hear the mayor's passion, and I appreciate that, and I do expect to see some changes.
And you,
And
And you
I do
will.
that.
let's, like I
But-
said, you and I go back 20 years.
We do that,
Give us a
Mr.
chance.
Johnson, but I'm saying this today, because it's on record.
Okay,
This city has an opportunity to provide services and to the businesses that can put money back into this
Understood.
community.
understood.
And I know that's what the mayor wants.
Yes.
He wants to do that. He had a budget summit. We need more of that. He has a diversity manager who supposed to be able to come to companies like mine and provide us opportunity. That's not happening.
Okay.
But that's my point. I just want to make sure that, and I'll sit down with this.
But
The
Mr. Fred,
law. And Mayor said it the other day when I was here.
exactly.
It is the law.
Yes.
So what I'm looking
Let's give
for
us a chance to
is the
work.
execution of the law.
Okay,
And you stood right there, Mr. Freddie. You attended both our budgets meeting, and we all agreed, the administration and the council, we all agreed that we had 2 good days of a budget meeting.
Amen.
And you stood right there today and you said we had two good
commend
days.
you for that.
That's right,
Thank
you
you.
did.
Yes.
So I feel, and I know that we had 2 good days of budget meetings. And when you have 2 good days of budget meetings with the administration and the council working together, it can't mean anything but we're going to help you. It doesn't mean anything less than we're going to go out and help the citizens and help the businesses. It's nothing less, Mr. Freddie. We're
Yeah.
going to do what we can
Well,
to help
I
you.
appreciate that, Madam President.
So let's give us this opportunity. Give us this opportunity. And let us work together so that we can
I'm
get
standing
out.
here ready to do anything,
And
everything
I
I
know
can
that,
to
and
help
we
the city
know that.
do
We-
what we need to do.
And we
I'm a
know
part of
that.
the Alexander Regional Black Chamber.
Okay.
The president
know
is here.
that.
So
We
we're
know
here to
that.
be able to do that, and we want to do that because
And just
we
give
see
Give us the opportunity.
you have the opportunity.
And
Madam
you
President.
had in the past, all those years, you had in the past, all those years to speak out. And now here you are speaking out again. So now, just give us the chance. Let us work. Let this administration and this council work together.
Ms. Perry, there's an easy metric. We can look at what happened when I implemented this program in my past years and what business he was doing. You didn't hear complaints from him because he was doing business. I can then show you the business he did for the previous 4 years. Where we're getting the pushback or sensitivity, if you will, and we're all big boys and girls and we got to have thick skin, is we're being grouped when I can show you when his business stopped and what it was under me before. That's not fair. We have to be able to implement what we already had been doing well and increasing on every metric.
All right.
That now has to be re-implemented. And I know everyone can say it's not fast enough, it's not enough. I agree. I agree that that's how you feel when you're the other side of feeling that. But I can't explain and wouldn't want to for lots of reasons, all of what I know that you don't and you don't of why it's taking a while. The things wrong with the reporting systems, the things wrong with all the changes we're making to IT and IS. I used to have a report I could get at any time by Mr. Page and show me where we were, not weekly, but close, on a monthly basis. We're having to rebuild all that. It's gone. So that's what's not fair to us. You've got to let me rebuild that.
Okay.
The P-card thing would never be understood without me pushing in that meeting on Monday. Wait, I don't understand. And then it hit me. I know what's wrong.
So I will see you tomorrow, what time?
It's, 11 o'clock would be fine with me.
11 o'clock.
Let me say this, and I've said that because I have documentation that I provide to the mayor on what business I have done with the city since I've been doing business with the city,
Exactly.
year by year, and what those figures are, Mr. Mayor, and I'll give that to you. All I'm saying is this, I talked about $2.4 million that's in machinery and those things. I'm going to tell you, we didn't get any of that.
Right,
Not
we
even-
got you, bro. We got you.
We're not close to that.
We get it, bro.
But the mayor
We get
talks
it.
about he's going to share it. But all I'm saying is,
We get it, man.
Mr.
I
Lawler,
understand it, man. I get
I
it, man.
appreciate you understanding,
Yes.
but let's deal with facts, and that's what we're going to be dealing with. Not innuendo, but facts that, if we do that, Mr. Mayor, then we'll be on good accord.
We get it, brother.
When I was at Mayor, Mr. Lawverdane, I actually went around as a consultant on this. This is in my heart. It's a passion I have, whether people want to acknowledge that or not, believe me or not. I did 2 things this week that changed this. One, a discovery on P-card, but it's not the only one. I also dropped all amounts to this 0 that matters. I did a third thing I didn't say already, and that is we are going to create, so this is so simple, this is what the city does. We don't do certain things. Like people, you can't look at all percentages the same, right? There's certain products we don't need. We're going to list exactly what we buy, and he will always have an interface. This is what we want to create on Alex Connects and a whole bunch of things. I'm going to talk about some of those things in that briefing that's coming up Thursday. But we have a vision for how to move this in a future where it's obvious. He can look at his own interface and go, look, they're going to be buying all of this type of thing. Then it helps him even more than he knows. Right now, he could get called and we need 5 of a thing. And maybe Mr. Price only has 4. So then they go, oh, we're going to go over here and get them where they have 100 of them. I'm not interested in the person that's paying for their kids to go to school in another state and all that. I want him to be able to go, I know they're about to be on that, I'm going to stock up. This is how you build this. I know what to do to build this capacity. I need more time, and I'm sorry if it's not fast enough. but it means a lot to me to do it, and that's what I'm gonna do.
So this will be accessible to all minority businesses?
To all business.
All businesses?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Madam President. Thank you. I've sat here and listened to everyone. The acronym AFEET, Alexandria Fairness, Equality, Accessibility, and Teamwork Program. The diversity and study program that was done in my absence of 4 years, this city being a minority, and I understand what Mr. Price has said, that we need to make sure going forward that all citizens and minorities get accurate, ample activity with the city of Alexandria. When you have this many people that are living in this city, paying tax-paying dollar, they need to be shown the accountability of AFEET. 2 weeks ago, we gave out contracts to numerous entities here for the city, and I have no problem with any of those people, with Mr. David or none of the other guys that we did this. But AFEET, from going forward, ladies and gentlemen, we must be fair to every citizen in this city. Now, we're not talking about people in Talg or wherever else, but the citizens of Alexandria. We need to practice AFEET, the acronym as it stands. That's all I want to say, Mr. Price. I applaud you for bringing this to our attention, and prayerfully, as the mayor said, this has been and will be rectified. Madam President, I thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Mr. Jewett. Mr. Green, Councilman Green? We done.
All right.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Oh, did they just pass the budget?
You
Yeah.
did.
I have an amendment.
17. You done.
No, you need this amendment. This is your this is your amendment. This is Ms. Perry's amendment that I'm presenting. Could you, somebody should move to reconsider the vote by which the budget was passed and
I
reopen
move to reconsider the reason budget was passed.
I second.
it? And then you need to vote on that. Sorry, Trey's not here, so I'm.
Okay.
Johnson.
Do we vote?
Okay.
Reconsider,
Oh, you need to.
reconsider.
There's a motion to reconsider.
The
Who we
motion,
doing
Motion to
now?
reconsider the vote by which the budget was
You need
passed.
to ask for public comments.
Public comments, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No. So it's
Motion
open.
carried.
Okay.
Okay.
This amendment is called the consensus amendment to the ordinance adopting, and it has the rest of the whole budget title. It's dated April 8th. It was sent down to each of you. I made my folks swear they were going to get it to y'all early. This is all good. This is, Ms. Perry, this is the amendment we discussed in the budget hearings, and I will just take y'all through it lickety-split.
Okay.
Remember page 16 of your book? If you go to page 16, there's an unappropriated line of 1.676 million, 958.
Yes.
All right, and so I created this morning for you, the first page. David in finance created the second accounting page. The first page just explains the current proposed ordinance retains 1.676938 in unappropriated 5-year capital as excess revenue over expenditures due to the current challenges, revenue projections, and future ad valorem revenue. In the absence of a consensus commitment on future revenue policy, past renewal elections, which we discussed all over the state, and other factors that we talked about in open meetings for 2 days, we felt there were challenges. That renewal that's coming up, if it doesn't pass, represented about 46% of 5-year capital revenue. So we didn't appropriate, as you see on 16. After our long budget meeting on the second day, Mr. Johnson, you will recall, and certainly led by Ms. Perry,
Yes.
we had a very lengthy discussion, built consensus during an open public meeting and agreed to what is now the amended proposed ordinance. So I've created an amendment that I list as coming from you because it is your amendment. I believe this accurately reflects what you asked me to do, and we did. So instead of not appropriating the 1676 for emergencies because we don't know how to project out 5 years without that renewal certain, we do this. We appropriate the 1676, $1,676,938 in 5-year capital despite revenue projections and ad valorem challenges based on positive outlook and comity of purpose. A fancy way of saying the togetherness and collegiality you exhibited the other day with the administration on a unified plan of action together, as you would say, Ms. Berry. And so with that, we feel more confident. You've been holding your town halls. You're feeling more confident about it. So now we've appropriated it. So the Reignite Amendment, what we're calling it, to the mayor's proposed budget, the one in front of you just voted on and now are reconsidering with this amendment, would, the rest of it, I won't read it. You can read all the parts of it. It addresses the public safety issues in the parks, the project enhancement needed. It optimizes time to completion. Remember, by appropriating a large amount to the rec system, you allow things to move faster to completion, which gives the people the confidence, and it also, frankly, will allow you to market better any decisions you make about ad valorem or other issues.
Mayor.
So it's very important, yes.
All right. I'm looking at what you said here. You used some really big words. Can you please?
Say that again?
I see what you proposed here, and you use some very technical words.
Yes.
Can you please briefly summarize it in layman's terms?
Absolutely. We agreed that looking at the park reviews and analysis that Tanya showed you, and we talked about the specific parks, Mr. Lawverdane, what we would do, that if we added that 1676, because we were confident after those discussions back, we would get a much bigger hit if we did a lot of this at one time. Remember,
And what is this exactly?
the park recreation parts that were pulled out. When we looked at our capital projects and rate them under priorities 1 and 2, that's drainage and all those things, you could never put a rec item above drainage and other things. But what we decided was, you really need them for quality of life, and if something's available and we're feeling more confident, then let's appropriate and let's not be that risk averse, let's appropriate the money to go forward on the bet that we're going to accomplish the goals that we've set out. So most importantly about that, some of the park needs are emergent. There's public safety issues. That justifies it. It also allows us to go, again, do this at one time, create the time to completion. That's a fancy way of saying you're quickening it to finish. So if you've got 5 different parks coming up to standards at one time, that shows people your commitment to fairness. It shows that it's happening everywhere. It shows you're selecting the right pieces everywhere to be fair. And it doesn't show it like, oh, yours is coming. I promise, Ms. Jones, it's coming next time. It allows you to do it at one time.
So 1.6 million is really going into our city parks.
Yes, but let me justify it further for the public. You guys get it, probably this room gets it. But for those at home that go, I still ain't buying it. If we're in dire times, why would parks matter more than because the people spoke and passed a rec tax for parks. We were going to hold that out as unappropriated to only focus on the emergent needs because we were worried. Now we're saying we're more confident because we're together. There's a whole bunch that goes with being together. Because everyone's on the same page, then you can say, all right, we're recognizing what the people voted on. So it's a balance question.
So Helen Black would get new playground equipment.
So you saw the list. We published it. All right, so look,
I just want
here's your pay.
I want other people to hear it that are watching.
Well, I'm going to go over it again in my Thursday briefing and list where we were. And I left some language in here for y'all to tweak. I mean, you may come to the 2 that we have for, that we talked about on the line. I reprioritize that one to be higher. And you agree. But we may look, Jacques, I don't know, maybe it was the original way Tanya had it. We've got room for that. You can decide that yourself. It's your district. You're going to decide that.
Okay.
So look, here it is in simple math.
Thank you.
Your page 16 is going to change now to represent that in the new book you get, but this is the most important page. The thing that has to be adopted is you're now moving to already where we had 925,000 for new playground equipment, you're adding, and then you see the new total, and that's the 2.299. And remember, of the whole budget, somebody go, they're spending 2.2 million on that. It's not just playground, it's enhancements to all the parks. We talked about the Charles Smith Park, all those different things. Different parks have different needs.
You better
This is
say
critical
Franco,
to your
huh?
quality
I
of
didn't hear you
life.
say
This
that.
tells people there's confidence in that the city's moving forward. It's more than just a theme. It's a statement about where we are. I would ask that you favorably adopt the amendment, and I'd ask for someone to move on that.
Go ahead.
Mayor, before you go farther, in the description, they read nine.
Yes.
So you have 6 council members, so the 7th one would be responsible, right?
Do you want to be a sponsor? I did not gather that you did. That's on me.
Well, I was here, so I'm
There
noticing.
were 2 days.
You missed the
Mr.
first.
Grant.
I missed the first, I was not physically here, but I saw it, and when Mr. Johnson came over to tell me
Yes.
what had occurred, correct?
Yes.
I followed through everything at home with my sick wife.
I could tell that you did, and
I was here.
Mr. Green, I don't want to be sideways, sir. This is for you. If you want to be a sponsor, this will be corrected and sent down. All you have to do is say, I want to co-sponsor, and it's 7 sponsors.
He gonna co-sponsor.
I will, but
I couldn't tell
the
that you wanted to the other
I
day.
was here the day you gave this.
I understand that, but I couldn't tell you wanted to do it
Yes,
by
sir.
your comments.
Yes, okay.
Madam President said Councilman
I
Green.
would have thought I'd be in
Will be
more
a-
trouble if I listed you and you said you didn't have my permission.
No, sir.
I did not, but I was here when.
Mr. Green, I
across it.
heartfully apologize.
Councilman
I would
Green.
love for you to be a sponsor.
I read it and I saw it, and I asked the question. Thank you kindly, sir.
You're welcome, Mr. Green.
Thank you, Madam President.
You
And that
welcome,
was-
Councilman
And
Green.
that was legit, and I agree with Mr. Green, you know. I look for my name, too.
You're on there.
Yeah, I look for it.
I didn't even know.
I knew I was getting in trouble either way. When I wrote, I was like, if I put
Okay, I need a
Jules and he
motion
didn't tell me I
second.
could.
I need a motion to amend.
Move.
Second,
Second.
public comments, discussion.
ma'am, I'd like to make a comment. You couldn't sign up for it, so somebody has to make a comment.
Well, we knew you was, Mr. White.
Thank you,
Let's
ma'am.
just
I
make,
appreciate you, Madam
let's just
President.
make.
You know, y'all talk about all this recreation. Now, we got drainage problems
Yes,
over there
sir.
where we're at.
Yes,
And I
sir.
heard Mayor Roy talk about Mayor Hall saying that he wasn't, I guess he wasn't doing his job.
We not talking,
No, the way he was talking like he wasn't.
Mr.
But
White.
What I'm trying to say is this,
Mr. White,
the budget, look,
no.
okay, what about the drainage?
We gonna look into the drainage.
Okay.
That's part of the
All right,
budget.
that's-
All right.
Thank you,
We
Mr.
have a
White.
lot of
Part of the
money.
budget.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Okay.
By the
All
way,
in
the proposed
favor?
budget has been online since last
All
Thursday.
in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Go ahead, read that.
Motion and,
You need to make a motion and second to as amended.
motion, second,
Second.
as amended.
Public comments.
Public comments, discussion, all in favor? Any opposed?
Motion carried.
Motion carried. All right.
Number 17. See, Carter Trey is here.
Go on, Ms.
17,
Jones.
to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to declare police vehicle 9843 as surplus and no longer needed or used by the city departments to be disposed of in accordance with Louisiana law.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second. Motion by Councilman Lloyd, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments, discussion.
Yes. You say it be destroyed. I sent up a couple of letters that some of the smaller towns need, with the need of police vehicles. And it's just destroy them. I'd like to look at, donate them to,
No, disposed.
dispose.
That-
Dispose, well.
We can do that under that. We do.
Okay.
It doesn't mean destroy it. We can allow that if we have requests in.
Sorry about that.
to them.
We sort of look at closest out, so first, the marshals folks, because they're directly with the city, and we go out from there.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 18, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a corporate endeavor agreement with Christus Foundation to co-sponsor the 2025 Walmart CMN Golf Tournament scheduled for May 2025 at links on the Bayou benefiting Children Miracle Network.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Valord, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 19, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew the golf course management, operation, and maintenance agreement with M2 Mitten Management LLC at its current items and
Terms.
as its current terms and conditions and other matter with respect thereto.
Motion,
Thank you,
please.
Move.
Second. Motion by Councilman Valord, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
J, executive session to be held pursuant to RS 221.6.1A2 on the following items. An ordinance authorizing the city attorney to settle and compromise the matter entitled Doris Fox et al. Versus City of Alexandria et al. Ninth Judicial District Court Civil Suit Number 275974, Division A, and other matters with respect thereto. Number 2, an ordinance authorizing the city attorney to settle and compromise the matter entitled John Jean and Wife versus City of Alexandria et al. Ninth Judicial District Court Civil Suit Number 268938, Division C, and other matters with respect thereto. An ordinance authorizing the city attorney to settle and compromise the matter entitled Marie Sampson versus City of Alexandria et al. Ninth Judicial District Court Civil Suit Number 274100, Division F, and other matters with respect thereto.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Valord, second by Councilman Johnson to go into executive session. Motion carried, and we're going into executive
We
session.
need a roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mr. Fowler.
Yeah.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Felter. Yes. Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Perry.
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, you have-
Motion carried.
Attorney Josh Darius here, and Attorney Gaines.
Yes.
All right.
I gotta do? No.
Get a motion and second.
Okay. I need a motion to come out executive session and second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman
Go ahead.
Fowler, second by Councilman Ballard to come out executive session.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Fowler? Mr. Green?
Here.
Ms. Felter? Yes. Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Ms. Perry?
Here.
Ms. Larberdang? Mr. Larberdang?
Here. Yes, yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
That's it?
You have 7 votes? 7 yes to come out to executive session.
Motion carried. Come out executive session.
Okay, ordinances of final adoption subject to public hearing. Number 20, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the city attorney to settle and compromise the matters entitled Doris Fox et al. Versus City of Alexandria et al. Ninth Judicial District Court, civil suit number 275974, Division A, and other matters with respect thereto.
Motion, please. Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilman Green. Public comments, discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. White?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. On these suits, are we going to know, I mean, as the public, will we know the dollar amount or anything like that? Or is that kept in executive session?
That's kept in executive session.
So we don't know how much the taxpayers' money that you spend?
Not
on
at
it?
this time. Not at this
Will we
time.
ever know?
Yes, sir,
We
you
will
will.
know.
Yes, sir, but not
It'll
at
be a
this time.
public record?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's
You're
all.
welcome. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 21, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the city attorney to settle and compromise the matters entitled John and Jean and wife versus City of Alexandria et al., Ninth Judicial District Court, civil suit number 268938, Division C, and other matters with respect thereto.
Motion, please. Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilman Johnson. Public comments, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 22, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the city attorney to settle and compromise the matters entitled Marie Sampson versus City of Alexandria et al., Ninth Judicial District Court, suit number 274100, Division 4, and other matters with respect thereto.
Motion, please. Second, please.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilman Johnson. Public comments, discussion.
was Division F.
Yeah. Division F.
Division F.
Division F.
I said Division F.
He said Division 4.
Maybe you thought you heard 4, but I said F.
I guess over here we got an
Yeah.
echo.
Yeah, Division F.
I got it.
That's what's on my page.
I'm gonna go back and listen.
Okay, all right.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried, meeting adjourned.
Hold up.
I'm sorry.
Hold up.
I'm sorry, Mr. Councilman Lobdane
All
had
right.
something to say.
This past weekend, the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity was in town, and I think they did their Southwest cluster. We had about 600 or so Kappas in Alexandria, filling up our hotels and spending money and buying our gas and whatnot, so I'm glad that they were here. I don't see a representative, but for those listening, I'm glad that they chose Alexandria, and we want all fraternities and sororities to consider us for their annual meetings, or whatever the case
The
is.
Lakers are having one coming up.
Well, hey,
I heard.
Mr. Larvin, it was Mr. Sean White, who was a Kappa, was here, but he departed after our executive session. And I think the number rounded out to be 750 gentlemen that was here in the city of Alexandria.
So,
Yeah, thank you, Captain.
so filling up our hotel rooms and buying our
Good.
food and
Yes,
gas and enjoying our city, so,
Heads and beds.
yes.
So the smoke with the Captain.
Yeah, so, yes. Well, the Alphas, there's a smart one right there, so I just want to make sure that we acknowledge their presence, we appreciate them coming here, and we want them to come back, so.
Thank you, Councilman Lobdane. Meeting adjourned.
It's just a working sheet.